Good morning to all my sisters out there. And that's not just the ones that I have by natural birth, but I'm talking about my universal sisters. You know who you are. You're everyone that's on the planet that happens to be a woman. Whether you're Asian, white, black, Hispanic, or Native American, it does not matter. You and I are sisters. But this morning I'd like to address my African American sisters because I am particularly concerned about us and what's happening to, between, and against us, especially in relationships to one another. We have a defunct relationship for many reasons. I won't go all the way back to slavery, but that would be a good place to start. There's so much that was placed in us through that institution, and a lot of it we have not lost. The jealousy, the envy, the backbiting, the gossiping, the undermining, all these things were given to us in slavery. In other words, they used them to keep us from bonding and to keep us from connecting as sisters. But now that's over almost 400 years ago. So we need to get on with the business of taking care of ourselves and rebuilding that sisterly bond. We need to get on with the business of supporting, encouraging, and uplifting one another. We need to get on with the business of being sisters here in this America and around the world. There's no reason why we can't all unite and form a formidable force. And that way, no matter what comes up against us or what happens in our lives, we'll be there to support one another. We'll be there to encourage one another. We'll be there just to listen to what your concerns are and to give you a word of wisdom and knowledge. Now, there's one thing that I'm particularly interested in that's regarding my sisters. I've been here 54 years and I've seen this happen because it happened to me. So I'm not afraid or ashamed to say that I have been a stellar example of what I ought to be. I am not going to give you that kind of lie because it's not the truth, and I believe in delving in the truth. I've not always done the things that I should have done. I've not always done the things that I even may have wanted to do. But the one thing I do know is that I have learned from everything I've done. And as such, I owe it to my young sisters to pass the knowledge on to them, to encourage them to be their best selves. Most important, to bless them in such a way that they can be benefit and not have to go through the suffering and the heartache and the pain and the disappointment that I endured. And the beauty of it is that if each one of us pass on our life lessons, we're going to help someone. We're going to prevent someone from going through some type of suffering. I want to talk about relationships because mainly it seems to be in our African American culture one of the central themes that we talk about all the time, that we deal with on a constant basis daily. And we haven't yet figured out how to manifest or how to have a good, healthy relationship with our male counterparts. We haven't yet figured out how to be an African American woman in this America and in doing so be our best self. We have assimilated to a lot of the ideologies of the European American lifestyle. And in some ways, it does not help us. As a matter of fact, it besets us in our quest of being a family. There are so many reasons for why the black family is no longer functioning as it should or as it once used to be. But right now, I just want to address one of the minor issues that I see in relationships. And one of those issues is the fact that we don't have enough self-confidence in who we are, and we don't have enough self-awareness and sense of self-worth about our value to a relationship, and especially to a man. That therefore, when we get into a relationship, we allow ourselves to give away our jewels. We allow ourselves to be used and abused in these relationships. And then we wonder why we don't have the kind of relationship that we desire. We are all emotional beings. We all have feelings, and we also have desires. But it truly takes us being strong one for another in order to overcome these desires and to put them in the right context and the right and proper place. Now, a man will do anything that we allow him to do. However, he has the greatest respect for the woman that says no and means no. A woman who says no and means no can get anything he has. That's true. How do I know? Because I've experienced it myself. And my husband, who's a wise man, told me that a woman who is so willing to give herself away to a man after knowing him for a short time, she's less likely to get the ring on her finger. And if she gets it on her finger, it's going to come as a result of a lot of nudging and pushing and dragging, because a man is an interesting, I say, animal, not in a negative sense, but in the sense that he has animalistic instincts. And what that means is that he pursues, he chases, and he conquers. And once he conquers, he loses his appetite. He loses his desire. He loses that gusto to get up and go out and hunt. And that's where you and I hold the key. We need to make him hunt and hunt and hunt, because he loves the chase. He loves it when he cannot have the very thing that he said he wants. He loves to have the woman that in other words, he loves the idea of the woman that he cannot have. That makes her more desirable to him. So if I tell you, you hold the key to this whole thing, you hold the key. And not only do you hold the key, you hold the brass ring as well. Now, if you learn how to use your key in a way that's going to benefit you, or at least, let's say, get you what you want out of the relationship, you're going to be much better off for it. And I think, and I'd like to believe that most of us want a healthy, loving, lasting relationship with a man. That we want that family unit. That we want to be in a long-term relationship where we have children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. That is not something that we should not be proud of. And it's certainly not something that you should not want and that you cannot have, because you can have it. The key is knowing how to get it. And I tell you, withhold yourself, abstain from all